Hey everybody, I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope you all had a good Tuesday out there. I'm just trying to stay cool here in the dirty South. Luckily about 15-20 minutes ago we got a little bit of a rainstorm. Cooled things off a little bit, but probably gonna make it worse because I think the sun's gonna come back out. It's gonna get steamy. There was steam coming off the road a little while ago. I was going down to the post office to mail out some tie-dye. I appreciate people buying the tie-dye shirts. And as always, I'll put a link down below to the new store, Uncle Jack's Tie-Dye. I appreciate y'all supporting me there. Today I want to talk about 7 years on high raw food diet and the lessons I've learned. Guys, I do videos every day, so if you have not already subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you go down and hit that red subscribe button now. And then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. 7 years, the lessons I've learned, the lessons I've learned have been mostly self-taught. Or not self-taught, but the lessons I've learned, the progress I've made, the way I feel has come through self-study and me being the one that does, that kind of takes control of my process. Experts, to be quite honest, I don't even like the term raw food diet experts because it's not something that there's enough of a study group. There haven't been enough people that have done it. It hadn't been around long enough. I won't say it hadn't been around long enough. There have been people that have eaten raw probably forever, but there's just not enough data on it. So your mileage is going to vary on everything. And that's not to say there's not a lot of good information out there. I just don't want you building things up. I don't want you building people up or any one source or this thing or that thing as the expert because, like I say, it's still kind of like your mileage may vary on all that stuff. Sorry, I had to get up and turn the AC off. I didn't expect it to come back on this quick. It had just gone off. But anyhow, the experts. Take all this expert stuff with a grain of salt, I like most of the stuff just goes right over my head. From day one, I've had people, oh, you've got to listen to this person, or you've got to go follow this person. And a lot of it is fanboying and fangirling. It's just like people, this is my guru, or this is the person that I've resonated with, so everybody should resonate with them. Number one, I would say YouTube is not your source, not your main source for learning about this lifestyle. There's a lot of good information on YouTube. There's a lot of stuff that will point you in the right direction. And that's all I've tried to do from the beginning of this channel. I like to think of myself more as a curator of raw food diet content than actually an expert or a guru or whatever. Just trying to put people with solid sources, with solid material, with solid information, and not necessarily one specific thought pattern. I like to recommend a lot of different things. Number one of the biggest lessons I've learned is I've gotten probably the majority of my wisdom about how to do the plant-based diet and how for me to translate a lot of the plant-like stuff that's not necessarily talking about raw over into raw is from people that are not doing the raw food diet. A lot of your people like say Dr. McGregor, Caldwell Esselstyn, Dr. Barnard, there's so many of them out there that have just really good practical information that I've taken a lot of information from them and, like I say, extrapolated that over to how I do my raw food diet. Now, one that I think has great information on both, and you've heard me mention her over and over and over here, is Brenda Davis. Brenda Davis has a great book, Becoming Vegan, Becoming Raw. I consider that one of the best books out there for the raw lifestyle. As well as too, I don't talk about it all that much because there's too many that kind of have that little culty mentality when it comes to 80-10-10, but that's no fault of the book itself or the person that wrote it. And while I don't follow an 80-10-10 diet to the letter with everything like that is in the book, I have the book. I've had the book for 3 or 4 years, and it is an excellent book on this lifestyle, and there's a lot of good practical information in there. Like I say, I really have always wanted to impress to people or stress to people that do not, take in a wide variety of sources. You are smart. A lot of this stuff is common sense. If you read a lot of this stuff, you can filter out. If it just sounds ridiculous, Like, I haven't done anything in my 7 years that didn't make sense to me in some way or another. I might not understand all the science, all the particulars, but I have never done anything in the 7 years of being on a high raw food diet that I'm just like, yeah, this just really doesn't sound right, but somebody else says do it, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. I would say block out the extreme stuff. The extreme stuff being all this advice that's anything other than just solid nutritional advice. One thing I don't believe in, and this is just me, like I say, I always have to say that. I'm thinking like a lawyer, but I mean, I don't recommend anybody, anything, following, doing, whatever, anything that deals with restricting your food. We can have, I mean, I don't know, I'm not, you know me, I'm not really into the juice feasting, juice fasting, the solid food vacations, but that's not necessarily what I'm talking about. I don't really, that's just not my thing, but if you do that once or twice, or if you do that to start, that's okay. I'm talking about people that are constantly restricting food, there's always some restriction. I'm going on some island, I'm going on some this, I'm going on some that, and those have their purposes too at times. What I'm getting at here, though, is at some point, eating this diet, living this lifestyle, and I want you to listen to this real close. No matter what your philosophy is, whether you do the feast, the fast, the intermittent fasting, blah, 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 you're going to have to learn how to eat. You're going to have to learn how to eat, and you're going to have to learn how to satisfy yourself and enjoy your food. You're not going to succeed on this lifestyle if you're constantly hungry. And that's what I see all the time. And the people that I've had people argue with me, and I shouldn't say argue because I don't throw back. If somebody disagrees with me, that is totally fine. No hard feelings, no whatever. But I've seen so many people almost defiantly tell me something throughout 7 years. And then, maybe, and a lot of them, the irony is I'll see, they'll friend me or something on Facebook. I lose track of them. I don't even remember them. And then I pop something up and they're eating meat or they're doing this or they're doing that. And they were the most adamant ones telling me, oh no, but you have to do this. Well, so-and-so says this. I don't care what no so-and-so says about this lifestyle. I mean, and that's not disrespecting anybody, and that's not saying that they're not necessarily right, but that's not my process. Just somebody saying, so-and-so said this. If I went and chased down everything that so-and-so said, every time somebody said it, whether it was in a comment on a video, whether it was something on a comment somewhere else, whether it was something I just saw that I wasn't even involved in, I would be chasing my tail. I would constantly be chasing down these things. So all this such and such, somebody said, what are your thoughts on this? That's always a bad start. Usually I'm like, well, I probably don't agree with it without even hearing it. So just take charge. Take charge. All we're doing is eating food. This is not, nuclear science. This is not something all that complicated. It's just really retraining the brain more than anything else. All these things, all these problems that people have on this lifestyle, it's up here. And that's not to say it's not a real thing, because, we've been programmed. We all have certain programming in our life. And if we've done something for 20, 30, 40 years, it's hard to undo that. So I do understand that. But if you really just take a step back, forget all the mumbo jumbo and all the next level raw food stuff, it's eating food. It's eating fruits and vegetables. Sometimes I just say that, probably oversay that a lot when somebody will ask me something about something, and I'm like, dude, you got a little too complicated for old Jack. I don't have enough brain power for that. It's like, it's eating fruits and vegetables. Peel a banana, you eat a banana. Peel a mango, eat a mango. Blend this up, chop this up, eat a salad, throw this in. If you eat some cooked, oh my God, it's not going to kill you. Your head is not going to explode. But I'll tell you what, one of the biggest lessons I've learned over the past 7 years is it's definitely the way for me. Now, that is not to say that I have reached a destination. This is where I'm at. This is what I'll be doing for the rest of my life. But I feel great. I feel great. I feel like I'm in about as good a position health-wise as possible after my background, after having drank for 20 years. And yeah, there'll be tweaks along the way. I'm sure, in a year I'll be saying, hey, I'm working on these new things and I'm plugging in this hole, or I'm working on that. But just not a lot of, like, I've found that eating a lot of raw food, that's just pretty much been it. It's done it for me. So anyhow, I'm just going to, like I say, keep on trying to share a simple message of eating more fruits and vegetables, getting a variety, eating enough calories for your body size and your activity needs, and just, just common sense raw food diet. I think that's what's needed more than anything else. It's just a common sense approach to this raw food diet. If it wasn't made mystified so much and made, like this woo-woo thing, more people might be open to it. So anyhow, just kind of a rambling video today, just kind of like talking about my thoughts on this lifestyle. But I tell you what, I don't know where I would be today if I was still living like I used to. Even if I wasn't drinking, even if I was living healthy, somewhat healthy, I think this way of eating, this lifestyle has, to an extent, allowed my body to heal itself of a lot of the damage that I did to it throughout the years. But anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this one today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.